News at 6.
No new cases and remain calm. Governor Brian Kemp goes one-on-one with CBS46.
We encourage people to continue to use common sense practices.
New tonight, the latest on coronavirus testing kits just released in the state of Georgia.
And the Bulldog questioning preparedness. What's up with those 60 unfilled Fulton County Health Department jobs? When will they be filled?
The rain finally starting to move out, and soon that sunshine is back, but it comes with a price. I'll talk about windy conditions and how long the sunshine will last.
A drainage issue outside a defensive driving school in Metro Atlanta has the owner of the business very concerned.
But it continues to happen, and it's only getting worse.
And wants something done about it.
There's nowhere for the water to go.
I'm Adam Murphy, working to get results.
This is CBS 46 News at 6. Getting results.
And we begin this hour with a live look outside on what has been a rainy Thursday. Are you sick of it? Do you want to see the sun? Of course you do. Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez says the sun is coming soon. She'll join us with a look at Atlanta's most accurate forecast coming up in just a moment.
We caught a few slippers earlier, but first we're getting word about a possible third case of coronavirus in Georgia. Good evening. I'm Sean Gables.
And I'm Rick Fulbaum. This is Compass Prep Academy. It's in Canton, and it sent a note out to parents within the last 20 minutes or so. A teacher there has a student who sits next to the infected student at another school. That teacher's child is now showing symptoms.
Out of caution, Compass is now closed through March 17th, and now testing for the coronavirus is beginning here in Georgia. CBS 46's Haley Mason joins us live with more from Governor Kemp. Haley, good evening.
Good evening. We want to be clear, Sean, that Governor Kemp is announcing today that there are no new cases of the coronavirus right now in Georgia. Of course, many people have displayed symptoms. He did not speak about this latest case, so we want to make that clear. But the Georgia Health Department officials tell us that they are anticipating that more cases will arise as the state lab today began testing. All this information is coming into us within the last hour. We met with Governor Kemp in his office after he wrapped up his meeting with the coronavirus task force. He assembled that task force just last Friday. He told CBS 46 that 2 coronavirus patients in Fulton County are doing okay right now. They're at home in quarantine with 2 other family members. And as for testing other people, the state public health lab in Decatur began testing for coronavirus this morning. They received 10 new test kits from possible patients today alone. They've received about 150 coronavirus test kits, and all so far. The Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Kathleen Toomey, tells me that samples are being collected by nasal swabs. They are being sent in by local doctors and hospitals, and ultimately they are sent to the CDC for final confirmation and diagnosis. As for travelers, the general manager of the Atlanta airport tells us that all travel from China and Iran is still canceled and suspended. There is a high travel advisory for people coming in from Italy and South Korea. Screeners are checking travelers at multiple stages right now as they land at the Atlanta airport.
We are still doing the same protocols with the Customs and Border Protection for Chinese and Iranian travelers will come in, will get mandatory screening. And these are U.S. citizens that are coming back from visiting those countries. That's still happening as we go on. They will then be questioned in initial screening by Customs and then followed by a screening and secondary screening by CDC with contractors from local hospitals. And pending those results, they will go to tertiary screening, which is done in the CDC quarantine room. And pending that, if necessary, they are taken to Emory. And so far to date, we have only had 1 passenger that has been taken to Emory, and that person was released after 72 hours for not having the virus.
And right now, testing restrictions are opening up and more test kits are being made available. The health director tells us that people with Medicare and Medicaid will be able to get the coronavirus test covered under their insurance. And for people who don't have insurance at all, the state will cover that test if necessary for free. Reporting live at the state capitol, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Thanks, Haley. Our team coverage continues now with our chief investigative reporter, Jonathan Carlson.
The Bulldog digging deeper into concerns over health gaps in Georgia and getting answers on those 60 unfilled positions at the Fulton County Health Department we first told you about last night. Jonathan.
Yeah, guys, good evening to you. I pressed the Fulton County Health Department on those vacancies. They responded within the last hour with new information you'll only learn here. But first, the bigger picture. Government data we reviewed shows Georgia ranks as the third highest uninsured state in the nation. Doctors telling us privately that, coupled with a critical shortage of rural hospitals, more than half a dozen closing in the last 10 years, has led to patients skipping doctors, increasing their underlying conditions, and it's those folks most at risk of contracting the virus.
Right now, we do have very limited testing capability.
And then came this, Fulton County's interim Board of Health director telling the county commissioners Wednesday the department has 60 unfilled funded positions. It appeared county leadership had been fairly unaware of this gap in manpower.
It was my understanding that you have quite a bit of vacancies in your department, and so I want to make sure that we address your need because we are having a health epidemic.
When asked why the positions haven't been filled, Dr. Elizabeth Ford, the interim leader, responded,
This person needs to have a certain level of training.
Hey, Dr. Ford. She ducked out of the meeting without answering our questions. Today, we pressed her office on why those positions haven't been filled and what role those vacancies play. We were told Okay, so as I mentioned at the top, I heard from Dr. Ford's office within the hour. After meeting with county HR, she tells me 57 positions remain open. 11 will be posted and recruited as state positions. The remaining 46 are county positions. The majority are being posted for recruitment. I'm told nursing and specialized positions have been a challenge to fill. Sean and Rick.
It makes sense, obviously, that you need to find the right people to fill these very important jobs. But how have these vacancies affected the response to coronavirus?
You'd think they would. The department says tonight no, but they didn't explain why. It's hard to believe that 57 openings wouldn't have any effect, guys, on all of this. But the good news here tonight, a light has been shined on these vacancies, and it seems to be pushing the county to fill these jobs
I think
quickly.
your pressure might be helping as well.
Hopefully.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
Jonathan.
that update. Now, remember, you can stay up to date with the coronavirus on air, online. You do not have to worry. We got you covered. Get the CBS46 app. It's streaming. Download it for free right now.
Well, also right now, Ebenezer Road currently closed due to flooding. This is down in Monroe County. Emergency crews are telling people to avoid traveling on this road if you can until tomorrow. Also right now, Crisp County is under a state of emergency due to flooding there. This is on I-75 south between Macon and Valdosta. And you can see a lot of water there on the ground. It's coming up to some homes as well. And this is what the governor was talking about, Jen, in his news conference before he began talking about coronavirus. He talked about the state of emergency that he's declared for South Georgia.
Yeah, and it's those areas south of I-20, especially middle and South Georgia. That has been the hardest hit areas from all of this rain. We saw a lot in North Georgia, but they've seen almost twice as much in middle and South Georgia. So seeing some roads flooded out, some broken roads, some impassable roads, and even some homes threatened from that water. We're not seeing that across North Georgia. We're actually seeing improvement. Da-da-da, as this rain finally moves on out of here. Those showers now east of Athens and Eatonton. Sayonara, rain. We are done with you for now and really for the next several days. You can see behind this system that dry air that will be moving in. So as that low moves out, we'll see dry and sunny conditions behind it. That means no rain in tomorrow's forecast, but it will be very windy. We have a wind advisory from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. We will see wind gusts up to 30 to 35 miles an hour as we only warm up to 53. I'll let you know if this sunny weather will continue through the weekend coming up.
I hope so. Thank you, Jen. You can download the free CBS46 app to get weather alerts sent directly to your smartphone. The app is available for Apple and Android users. CBS 46 working to get results tonight for residents dealing with drainage issues.
And it's actually causing some safety concerns for drivers. This is in East Ponce in Scottdale. CBS 46's Adam Murphy is in DeKalb County with the story. Adam.
Just off East Ponce in Scottdale, Pamela Weeks signed up another couple for defensive driving classes.
Use it for insurance.
She's made it her mission to make our roads safer. But during the past decade, she's encountered more than her fair share of roadblocks.
There's been multiple accidents out here. I would say maybe 1 or 2 every week without the rain.
Water pools up behind her business when it rains and then floods the intersection of East Ponce and North Clarendon, right next to the railroad tracks.
I teach defensive driving And I teach people that they need to be a good defensive driver and always be prepared for everything. And I'm seeing cars struggle right beside me with all this water.
To prove a point, Weeks took us out into the rain to show and tell how bad it is.
When a person tries to stop, they may not be able to stop.
So I contacted DeKalb County and CSX. They both agreed to look into the matter, but could not guarantee a solution.
But it continues to happen, and it's only getting worse.
As for Pamela, she said it's only a matter of time before someone gets hurt.
It is dangerous. It was frustrating watching the cars go by just this morning.
A CSX spokesperson told me they would be sending someone out to check out this area and see if there's anything they can do because it's so close to the railroad tracks. But for now, if you're in the area, drive with caution. In Scottsdale, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
CBS 46 is everywhere here in Georgia. More than 64,000 Georgians have participated already in early voting for the presidential primary. This year, the state is using new voting machines. Voters will head back to the polls March 24th for our version of Super Tuesday. In Gwinnett County, fire investigators working to learn the cause of a fire that broke out at a clothing store in Buford. It happened this morning on Faithful Industrial Drive. No one was inside at the time. Most of the damage was to one side of the building.
In Carroll County, after a 2-year search, investigators continued to look for 53-year-old Vincent League. He disappeared from his home on Horsley Mill Road back on March 4th in 2018. If you have any information, call the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. In Paulding County, police now looking for a suspected bank robbery. Take a close look. We're told this man walked into a SunTrust branch on Metromont Road in Hiram. He gave a teller a note demanding money. The man was able to get away with an undetermined amount of cash. If you recognize him, call police.
Pope Francis names a new Archbishop to the Archdiocese of Atlanta. Bishop Gregory John Hartmayer, who currently serves as Archbishop in Savannah, will take over as leader. Bishop Hartmayer will take the place of Archbishop Wilton D. Gregory, who has served as Atlanta's Archbishop from 2005 up until last year. You may remember Bishop Hartmayer served as pastor of a church in Jonesboro for 15 years and then as pastor for a parish in Lithia Springs. So he's very familiar with the area. Bishop Hartmayer's installation mass is set for May the 5th.
Now to a developing story where an Atlanta-based company under fire tonight for a commercial that is being labeled as racist. The Honey Pot. It's an all-natural feminine hygiene line. It's being called out after the founder, Beatrice Dixon, said, quote, "The reason why it's so important for Honey Pot to do well is so the next black girl that comes up with a great idea, she could have a better opportunity." Dixon says all she wanted to do was shed light on inequality.
Basically, between 2017 and 2018, Project Diane reported that out of the $425 billion that was invested into businesses, 0.06% of that went to black women-led businesses, right? So that kind of tells you what the disparity is.
Dixon, however, says the products are for everyone, just not black girls. As a result of all of this, the Honey Pot products, they're flying off shelves.
And the rain moving out of our area, finally starting to see some breaks in the clouds. And this is a much needed break because just today, since midnight, we've seen more than 1.5 inches of rain at Hartsville-Jackson International and north of Atlanta in Hall County, Forsyth County. We've had some isolated pockets of more than 3 inches of rain just in the last 24 hours. Very wet across all of North Georgia. Most of us have seen about 1 inch to 2 inches in the past 24 hours. So the fact that this rain is finally moving out is great news. We desperately need a break from the rain, and we are getting it. That rain moving out, because of that, we'll see decreasing clouds. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, no rain, no clouds, but you're going to see very windy conditions. Winds will be out of the northwest with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. For tonight, drying out, that rain pushing on out, clearing skies. We'll drop down to 43 degrees. Tomorrow will be cold, especially when you factor in those winds, sustained winds of 20 miles an hour sustained. That's already windy. Then on top of that, we're going to see gusts of 35 miles an hour. You factor that with the temperatures only in the low 50s, it is going to be very chilly for tomorrow. Wind advisory starts at 5 a.m. tomorrow through 7 p.m. And this is why by 11 a.m. we'll see 36 mile an hour wind gusts, and it will stay windy through the entire afternoon. Winds do die down in time for the weekend, and it stays sunny and dry. Hallelujah. But we do have more rain next week. Something I see